here tonight. Bill Self's team, all they could do is handle what's in front of them, and that would be picking up a win on the road, which has been hard to come by so far this year. McCormick jumps up. Doolittle ends up winning the tip. Sooners basketball.
These two teams have not met in over 2 months. Played early in January 2nd. And this Kansas team is a lot different than the one the Sooners saw in Lawrence.
No doubt about it. It's 70-63 Kansas win. Nice move going baseline. Odoms goes for the two-handed stuff.
One of those seniors who's been around since the Final Four days, and they had Senior Day Saturday, but this is still the last home game for the veterans of this Lon Kruger team.
McCormick off the window and good. They decided to have Senior Day on a weekend because they have so many seniors, and just in terms of convenience for the families traveling in, for everyone to be able to make it, they figured that would be the best idea.
Absolutely, and there are a couple families still here, and that's good for these young guys who are playing their last home game, we think, in Lloyd Noble.
Manick, step back, that's a three, and it was short.
This is a young basketball team with 4 freshmen. They also have 4 McDonald's All-Americans.
Lawson kick out. Dotson. Lawson fighting for the rebound. Loose ball. And that one, a turnover as Dedrick Lawson stepped on the baseline.
Yeah, this young man's had a great season. As you see, Bill Self has been the head coach since 2004.
Hall of Famer.
Absolutely, he is already, and just an incredible streak. It's the greatest streak in college basketball history. 14 straight conference titles.
And meanwhile, on the other side, a guy with the not too shabby resume himself, as one of 4 active head coaches to lead 2 teams to the Final Four. He's also the first guy to take 5 different teams to the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, he's been a program builder wherever he's been.
This is his longest stop here in Norman. Manick gets a piece of the paint, leans up and under, and puts it in.
Brady Manick, I've been impressed with his improvement this year. He's a more physical player, and in Big 12 play, starting to stroke that ball like he did as a freshman.
There's a Baji able to knock it down. At his red shirt removed January 9th following the injury to Udoka Azubuike. And Fran, that was a huge injury, a wrist injury that shut him down. They went 9-0 with Doak, and they've gone just 13-7 without him.
Yeah, they were the #1 team in the country. And of course, they've lost Gerald Vick to a leave of absence. So it is a different club. They've had to change their style of various times throughout the season.
McCormick gets it right inside, his shot short. And I believe they got McCormick with the foul. Indeed they did.
The guy I want you to keep your eye on tonight, John, is Christian Doolittle. He has really come into his own as a junior. In conference play, he's averaging 13 points a game, 8 rebounds, and he is murder in the mid-range. Foul line in, 17 in on the wings. Can also take you off the dribble. He's become their go-to guy offensively, along with this guy.
The enemy feeds James. So Christian James able to knock it down. Lawson, the 3 has been a big part of his arsenal the second half of the season.
No doubt about it. We'll talk about that metamorphosis of his offense later, but the one thing that's really helped Kansas is his ability to play away from the basket, particularly over the last stretch of the season.
Lawson takes it away. Looking ahead, Dotson was there, finds Grimes. Grimes flips it up, won't go. Rebound pulled down by Christian James. The enemy opposite, Manick hesitates and hits.
I think there's an injury.
I think Lawson may have hit his head. Not quite sure, but he was grimacing. Kip Kissinger, they were trying to sort it out. But it was Kip Kissinger who said, hang on a second. And he wanted to make sure that Lawson was okay.
Yeah, I would expect. Yep.
Sooners, the early 5-point lead. John Sciambi, Fran Fraschilla here in Norman, Oklahoma. Feed up ahead, Odoms. Bieniemy hits. Well, that's been a change for them. Jamal Bieniemy didn't start their first 17 games, and now this.
Oh, he's going to be a star, John. He is a very poised young freshman out of Houston. We've got some good freshmen on this floor tonight for both teams.
Abaji, that wouldn't go. Fight for that loose ball, and it ends up with Doolittle. And the three-pointer knocked down by James. The Sooners have knocked down 6 of their last 7 shots. And Oklahoma leads it by 11.
Well, this is a team that has struggled behind the arc in conference play. 9th place, 33%. But tonight, with a lot at stake, they have started hot. A year ago, and this is a very, very big opportunity for those seniors.
I like that. Currently 10 seed, and parenthetically it just says Lenardi. I texted Joey Brackets today. He told me if Oklahoma wins tonight, they are in. So there you go. Mitch Lightfoot into the game, loses the ball, and Kansas turns it over.
Well, Kansas not focused so far. Sloppy play, particularly inside. Yeah, I don't know why if you're Oklahoma you wouldn't be playing like your hair's on fire with what's at stake.
Doolittle looking for some space and then tosses it past the intended receiver, and now 10 on the shot clock. Doolittle inside, high off the glass. And they get a foul. I believe it's on Odoms going over the back. Sooners with the early lead. John Sciambi, Fran Fraschilla here from the Lloyd Noble Center.
Little zone now by Oklahoma, John. They like to play this 3-2 zone.
Wide open look for Marcus Garrett, who missed that chunk of time. He's now back for that high ankle sprain.
That's where Doolittle's good.
Garrett pulls down the rebound. And here's Dotson. Garrett, a guy who really helps them on the defensive end. KJ Lawson in and out, tip, Lightfoot battles, but Oklahoma comes away with it.
Yeah, this young man, Eric Bieniemy, he may have been in a scoring.
Jamal,
yeah, I said his uncle. His uncle is the
offensive coordinator.
Yeah,
for the Chiefs, and a good NFL player.
Yeah, but Jamal is so poised for a young player.
That went way downtown.
I knew I would do that once this season.
Oh, I think I've already done it about 3 times in the Bahamas. They get the foul, and that'll be on Garrett. Yeah, so as we mentioned, Eric Bieniemy, the current offensive coordinator for the Chiefs, and Jamal is really developed into a nice player. And man, we talked a lot about Dallas, but Texas,
oh yeah,
and really that Houston area is starting to become one of the, or has been for a while, one of the real hotbeds, right?
I'm biased because I've lived in Texas for 16 years now, but I think Texas high school basketball is as good as any place in the country. You look at Quentin Grimes, you look at Kendrick Davis from TCU, Bieniemy, all 3 freshmen making a major impact from the Houston area.
There is a move afoot to take away your New York City street cred card that I am currently leading.
Can't get Diet Lemon Snapple in Dallas. That's a problem.
Money McNeese off the mark. Lawson trying to beat inside. Abaji got whacked in the face, and Kansas, their 5th turnover. Manic, baseline, got it.
Right now, Kansas is out of sorts. Their ball handling and passing has been abysmal early. On this man-to-man, Oklahoma will do a lot of switching.
And they got a little moving screen there. That one on Lightfoot. Go back to Brady Manic.
Yeah. Watch Brady Manic right now. He's just behind that defense, and nobody really is guarding him, and that's money. Young man from right up the road in Harrow, Oklahoma. His dad, Casey, was an outstanding shooter as well at Oklahoma Christian University.
His brother Kellen played at Oral Roberts. An
Yeah.
11-0 Oklahoma run. Manic got another.
Look at this.
How about it?
This is desperation time. When you call a second timeout in 8 minutes, Oklahoma playing like they know an NCAA bid is right in front of them. Can they keep this up?
And OU's Maggie Nichols won the beam. I mean, they went nuts here.
Oh, I'll tell you, hey, UCLA is one of the best beam teams in women's gymnastics, and I thought OU down the stretch with the pressure on in front of that great crowd was outstanding. #1 team in the country, really brought it. And they were great on the floor, too. They've struggled in the floor exercises this year, OU, but when I say struggle relatively because they're the #1 team in the country, but their floor exercises were absolutely outstanding. I know Coach Kindler was really pleased.
Thanks to Holly Rowe for all the information. 16-0 Oklahoma run.
What are you saying, John? You don't think I know gymnastics?
I'm just...
Okay.
I mean, either Holly Rowe or Laura Rutledge hooked you up there. That's what I'm saying. Dotson gets bumped.
Now, let's go back to this game because Bill Self's taken 2 timeouts.
Yep.
And let's go back to last night just so we can recap what's happened. Kansas State won at TCU. Texas Tech held service at home with a convincing win over Texas. So there's 4 outcomes left.
Right.
This game tonight for Kansas, their game at home against Baylor, and Texas Tech goes to Iowa State on Saturday.
Yeah.
Oklahoma goes to K-State. All have to go Kansas's way. 2 losses by their opponents, 2 wins. This is very unlike a Kansas team to come out this flat. And I can't remember that. I don't know about you, but I can't remember this type of performance with what's at stake.
Yeah, and I mean, for the most part, they've been in the driver's seat over the course of this 14-year stretch. Let's be honest. They have not played from behind a ton during this stretch. Not a ton.
They have, but not much. Last year, remember, it took Texas Tech's Keenan Evans to get hurt, and of course Kansas.
Right, but at this point in the season,
yes, it
hasn't stacked up where they've usually needed this much help. Lawson pulls it down. Look, pretty amazing streak. Lawson not able to hit. Kansas just ice cold.
And Dietrich Lawson's going to have to mix up that offense and not rely just on the perimeter 3 because he's hard to guard inside.
Manic knocks down another. That's his 3rd 3 of the game.
John, he was in a non-conference slump from behind the arc. There you go.
They get the lob performance.
Brady Manic is shooting 38% from 3 in conference play against some of the best defenses in college basketball. And what I like about him, as I said earlier, he's filled out. He's a really good rebounder, too.
Eric Calixte, the grad transfer from Maine, handling here. And Doolittle travels, says Kip Kissinger.
Yeah, now you got to chase Brady Manic off the line, and you got to make him a driver here. This is just a breakdown. That's just a breakdown. They almost had a breakdown on Saturday when they messed up a switch late in that game and left Lindy Waters open. And it's part of the problem with playing freshmen. But right now, Brady Manic's got to be guarded tighter. No airspace. A little more zone by Oklahoma, just trying to keep the Jayhawks off balance.
Grimes will fire. Banks it in.
He's played better as of late. Quentin Grimes, last couple games, he's knocked down the threes. He hadn't banked any in until that one, but he'll take it given where KU has started this game.
Yeah, freshman who is a big recruit, a top 10 recruit according to the ESPN 100. Reynolds looking for some help and throws it away. Turnover, Oklahoma. Well, a reminder this Saturday on ESPN, the final weekend of the regular season. Sonic Blockbuster doubleheader lined up. Duke, North Carolina, part 2. And then at 9 Eastern, it's 7th-ranked Michigan taking on 9th-ranked Michigan State in another big-time sequel. Both games on ESPN, also available streaming live on the ESPN app. That's a pretty good doubleheader right now.
Yes, it is. No Zion tonight. Duke struggled. Nice move. I'm a big fan of this kid, David McCormick. He is a great teammate. You're talking about a guy 6'10", 260. And the light's starting to come on. Former McDonald's All-American.
Kansas on a 7-0 run, and the Jayhawks get the basketball back.
And the one thing in Kansas's favor with that early deficit is that Oklahoma has struggled to score this year, John, in Big 12 play. I mentioned teams like Texas Tech and Kansas State particularly. Iowa State's defense was very good early. Yeah. Baylor, certainly Kansas. And if there's been one problem for Oklahoma in conference play is that offensively they tend to struggle some. So there's a lot of basketball left.
Well, this league's been defensive dominant this year. You look at the top 2 teams in the league, the anchor is the defense with Tech and Kansas State. And scoring has been down in the Big 12. Kick out, Dotson wide open. Look, can't hit, tracks down the rebound. Now the lob, McCormack gathers it in. That one in and out. David McCormick just could not put it in.
He rushes sometimes. Next year, those will be dunks.
James fires.
Kansas starting to tighten up that D right now. That's got to be something.
And they get a block.
Yep.
On Doolittle.
That's got to be something. Guy falls down, someone gets run over. I'm not sure if Doolittle was established. Kip Kissinger, take a look. Yeah, see, now that's a charge. Because, you know, when you got 2 feet planted and you're facing an offensive player, that could have gone either way. I thought that was a charge. There'll be people that say, oh, he was moving. You're allowed to move once you're established. You got to know the rule.
Dotson just too fast, left hand, and spins it off the glass and in. 8-point game, Kansas on a 9-0 run.
I think that second timeout worked. No energy right now for Oklahoma.
Doolittle gets into the paint, pull up, flips it in.
That's where he's good, John. Christian Doolittle has really come of age as a junior.
In the age of the dunk and the three-pointer, you don't see a lot of mid-range guys anymore.
Yep.
Good hands, Bieniemy. He takes it away. Jamal leaves dramatic in the throwdown.
How about that?
Gorgeous.
How about that pass? Off a turnover. That'll be fun, John. Remember, Michigan State won in Ann Arbor.
Inside, Dotson not able to hit. Manick collects the rebound. And now the push up ahead, and James give off. Inside, Odoms gets fouled.
Good push right there. Good job by Oklahoma, not wanting to have to set up against a half-court defense. 2 seniors got out and ran. Rashard Odoms from Copperas Cove, Texas, has been a glue guy. Interesting thing about him, John, we've watched him for 4 years. As a freshman, unlike James, he played very little. But I remember talking to him going into his sophomore year. He said, the best thing about my freshman year was guarding Buddy Hield every single day in practice. And certainly as he leaves the Sooner program, he'll be remembered fondly for his toughness and grit.
First free throws for Oklahoma. Light foot kick out as Grimes swings it.
They're trying to get Lawson posted.
Grimes left side, short. The enemy, Sooners looking to go. The enemy feeds inside, up and in, Rashard Odoms.
I mean, that's hustle right there. And lack thereof from Kansas, getting beat twice in a row.
Abaji left hand shot might have been deflected. Oklahoma by 16, looking for more.
This kid keeps his head up. Now listen, when Lon Kruger throws you into the starting lineup as a freshman, midway through your first year, it tells you a lot.
Yeah, right. Smack in the middle of conference play. It's his 13th straight start for Jamal Bieniemy, and a 10-0 Oklahoma run. And again, here tonight, if Kansas loses this game, then the incredible run of 14 straight regular season titles in the Big 12, it's over.
Now there's the push, and this is what got Bill Self up and ready to continue to treat that scores table like Grand Central Station. Because Moore and McCormick ready to check back in. He's just trying to find an answer or 5 guys that'll get back and hustle.
Well, they have struggled on the road. And year in and year out, you're used to Kansas teams being able to score. Scoring on the road has been a problem. I mean, 68.2 points per game is not terrible, but for Kansas, normally you're used to seeing them being a higher scoring.
Yes, and remember, they're the bullseye every game they play on the road, you know. And Bill Self's won easily 67-70% of his road games at Kansas.
The enemy had it knocked away by Lawson. Fight for the loose ball. And they'll go possession arrow. It belongs to Kansas. 17-point Oklahoma advantage. Joey Brackett saying Oklahoma a win, and they are in. The Big 12 may get as many. Right now, on paper, it says they're going to get 8 in. You and I were saying we think probably more like 6 or 7. Right?
Yeah, TCU's got a lot of work to do. They have really struggled. Obviously, a lot of injuries and a couple transfers, but more the injuries. But I think Texas is in good shape, and they'll host TCU Saturday. And a lot of it is who you've played, and Texas has a win over North Carolina.
Abaji short, loss in the rebound, kicks to Moore. McCormack contested by McNeese, and they get the foul on Jamani. You know, Jamani McNeese and his story, kind of the arc of his season, factors in a lot when you talk about what's happened with Oklahoma. Early on, I saw him in the Bahamas. He was sensational. You know about him on the defensive end. But McNeese was affecting things offensively and rebounding. They started the year 11-1. He ended up with a right ankle injury and hasn't totally gotten back to normal. He's not as explosive as he was. I agree. There were some signs Saturday, which was good. Now, in his absence, what they've gotten is Christian Doolittle. He's become more of an offensive threat, but they missed Jamani McNeese's presence at the rim defensively. Little different type of team. Matt Freeman in the game right now, the New Zealand, who can shoot threes. Little floater there, couldn't get it to go. Fight for the loose ball. It ends up with Kansas. And Lawson kick ahead, Abaji. And now Moore, the Cal transfer. Too strong, Reynolds tracks it down. Fans wanted a foul on Kansas. Freeman. Well, that's what they got him for. Absolutely. He's got some allergies in the paint, but Matt Freeman's had a really solid junior year, the youngster out of New Zealand. Biggest lead of the game at 19. Lawson gets inside, and he's fouled by Freeman. Matt will hear about that, but this is what he does. Lines it up. It's great camera work right there, fellas. And the Kiwi knocks it down from deep. Good solid junior year. He struggled in conference play, but you know, he only has 4 free throws all year, so I wasn't really throwing him under the bus.
I was speaking the truth.
I get you.
Yeah.
I think you could have documented said stat in a kinder way than
having an allergy.
Allergic to the paint.
Oh. Just trying to keep you amused.
It's like saying I have an allergy to vegetables, an allergy to salad.
I'm with you on that, man.
4:24 to go here, first half. John Shelby, Fran Fraschilla. Lloyd Noble Center here,
man,
in Norman, Oklahoma.
If you're Kansas, listen, they can come back. They just got to get cut into this lead. The last thing they need now is another 6-8-0 run by Oklahoma.
Love to get it to what, 10?
10 or 12, they're fine. They've got plenty of firepower.
Reynolds gives off to Lickstead. Here are the two grad transfers. Freeman looking to post against Garrett. Reynolds gets inside. Shot rejected by Abaji.
I'd push it here. Bill Self going to 4 guards and going to play through Lawson inside.
Inside. Grimes had a good look at it, just could not finish. James. Abaji pulls down the board.
I can throw it in there. That's it. He'll go to work.
Go to work.
Yeah.
Grimes short on that one. Lawson had the rebound, lost it, and Oklahoma the other way.
Blixty coming off 22 against West Virginia Saturday, the main transfer from Stoughton, Mass. He's contributed. Not there.
Just slipped out of his hand. That's a turnover. Grimes, bad idea with Lawson on the move.
He just didn't see that, John. He just doesn't see those plays.
Lickstay, they'll slow it down. Lon Kruger shouting out instructions. 2.5 to go first half, and it's the Sooners by 17. If Kansas loses this one, then the streak of 14 straight regular season Big 12 titles is over. Nice move inside. Doolittle up and under and in.
That's what we talked about. He makes that 15-footer and then he puts it on the floor. And that's why he's having a really good conference season.
Lawson is a lot to handle inside and outside. And that time gets the bucket.
Well, he's not only had a great year, Lawson, John, but what I really like about Dedrick Lawson, he brings energy every practice, every game.
Time out of the court. We'll take it with him. 41-24 Oklahoma.
Asked me about a month and a half ago. Yeah, on occasion. He asked me, would I take Kansas or the field? I said I would take KU to win number 15. He took the field. He's looking good right now.
Saturday on ESPN, final weekend of the regular year. 6 Eastern, Duke and North Carolina. UNC winning at Duke, and then the rematch, Michigan and Michigan State. That's at 8 Eastern. Sonic blockbuster. And it's all coming up on Saturday. Doolittle from the elbow. And that one saved by James, but right to Kansas. Abaji.
Got to shoot that. You got to throw some caution to the wind if you're KJ Lawson, wide open.
Well, they're 2 for 14 from 3.
Well, that was an open one. I mean, you got to shoot them sometime.
Garrett just inside the stripe and knocks it down.
You mentioned the defense, John. Before he hurt his ankle, he was really starting to score. Bill Self was putting him in ISOs. He was playing downhill, getting to the line, and I know he's getting better, but they really miss his ability to create offense.
Garrett collects the rebound. All right, so with this group of Jayhawks on the court, where does the ball go? Well, there's your answer.
Yeah. And I think you got to come out in the second half like wild men, honestly. And I think they will. They were down double digits to Marquette early in the year in Brooklyn and went on an amazing run. Now that was Doak and Legero Vic, granted. I expect a bounce back second half.
They're down by 13, under 10 on the shot clock. Bieniemy over Lightfoot.
Got a
Rebound
chance.
Kansas. They got a chance to get it to 10 or 11.
See if Dotson can get by Bieniemy.
Dotson into the paint, turns it over, and that is the way the first half comes to a close. And again, Oklahoma, they're in a stretch right now. They had 2 halves of better than 50% shooting against West Virginia, and in the first half, 53 against Kansas. Lob inside, and the attempt by Doolittle. He goes down to the deck, but he'll go to the free throw line and shoot 2.
How about that setup right there out of the break? Little pick and roll, back screen lob. Devon Dotson had great pressure on Bieniemy, and he still was able to make that lob pass to the rim. And it might have been Manic for most of that first half, but this guy continues to be a problem for Kansas because of his versatility. I'm really anxious to see how Kansas comes out this first 4 minutes, John. I thought they had great ball pressure right there on Bieniemy, but Doolittle was able to get to the rim and get a couple free throws.
Dotson with the ball is Kansas' first possession. Abaji able to put that one in.
And you can always tell what Bill Self is, what he's thinking, because that time he went right to Abaji, and Abaji paid it off with that drive to the basket.
Manic. Dotson the rebound. Or I should say Lawson the rebound. Gets it to Dotson. Now Lawson. 3 was halfway down and rattled out.
Those hurt because that ball was in and out. But no hesitation from Dedrick Lawson.
Bieniemy gives off. Now Doolittle trying to find Manic. Ball fake and has it knocked away.
How many times has Oklahoma gotten behind the Kansas defense tonight? It's been a number of times, and right there, good ball movement. They kind of got stuck in traffic in the paint, but good delivery to Manic inside. And take a look right here, a little dribble handoff, and everybody kind of focuses on Doolittle, and Manic sneaks in behind the defense.
Brady Manic, the 6'9" sophomore.
Grew up in the shadows of this campus. Committed to Oklahoma with Trey Young. There's that speed.
Great move, Dotson, just too fast.
That's a breakdown. You always want to push a fast guy to a ball screen because that's where the help is coming from. They gave him an empty side. He was able to get there.
Bieniemy inside. That shot was deflected. Dotson pushing. Dotson into the paint. Trying for Garrett, turned it over.
He should have shot that.
Basketball, yeah.
Yeah, but let's take a look. Last time, watch him reject the screen. You see Bieniemy peek? That opens up that driving lane. Nobody in the post. And then I thought that last drive, John, Dotson should have put that ball up on the rim, and he's done a great job this year. Passing is one area that he can continue to improve on.
10th turnover for the Jayhawks, and one. Doolittle will go to the line, absorbs the contact, and puts it in.
He's what we call mid-range murder. There's some guys in this league this year that really operate well in the mid-range. Barry Brown of Kansas State, one of those guys. This guy's another. I think Jared Culver at his best at Texas Tech in that 15, 17-foot range. But this kid, we talked about it early, he's hard to guard right now. And it's why Jamonique McNeese has not been able to get his spot back.
Yeah. 16-point Oklahoma advantage. What's at stake? Well, Oklahoma with a win. According to Joe Lunardi, they would secure their spot in the NCAA tournament. Meanwhile, for Kansas, the streak of 14 straight regular season Big 12 titles would come to an end with a loss.
I think there's a lot of time left in this game. Kansas just needs to get some stops. Can Oklahoma keep scoring? That's the question.
Manick. Rebound tracked down by Odoms.
A lot of blue shirts standing in quicksand right there on that shot.
That, by the way, is Oklahoma's first offensive rebound of the game. Nice look, finding Manick, who puts it in. He's got 19.
How about his ball? How about his moving tonight? Without the ball, really well done.
Abaji wide open. Rebound pulled down by Doolittle. And right there, Doolittle goes to the rim, gets fouled.
That's a tough matchup for David McCormick, because he's a 260-pound low post player, and he's trying to keep the nimble, mobile Christian Doolittle out of Edmond, Oklahoma. Maybe not the best player ever to come out of Edmond Memorial. That could be Jordan Woodard. It could be the coach that's coaching the Kansas Jayhawks right now, Bill Self. He's not enjoying his fellow alumnus and his performance tonight.
Brady Manick, the story here. He's got 19 of their 52, and that 19 a season high for Brady Manick. The lead is 17. Garrett. And Lightfoot has it knocked away. And he gets fouled. Tomorrow night on ESPN, we get another NBA Wednesday doubleheader. Sixers and the Bulls. That'll come your way at 8 Eastern. And then at 10:30, the Nuggets, the Lakers. Coverage begins. NBA Countdown at 7 Eastern.
Yeah, Nuggets have dropped out of that top spot in the West. 2 games back of the Warriors now. But great season for Mike Malone and that young team.
And a disappointing year for LeBron James and company. That is for sure.
No question. They were heading to the playoffs on Christmas Day. And LeBron came up lame, missed 5.5 weeks, and it'll be interesting to see if they just shut him down soon. This kid's poised, man. The enemy.
Odoms gets inside. And then a rebound there from Doolittle. He is tough on the boards.
Johnny, he had a freshman year where he had 29 at Texas, Doolittle, and then he was suspended for academic reasons the first semester of his sophomore year. He was on an upward trajectory. He really never got in the flow his sophomore year, and a little slow start this year, but in the last 6-8 weeks, he has been as hard to guard as anybody in the league. Look at that.
Wide open, cutting to the goal and throwing it down. 2 more for Doolittle. Having himself quite a night. 17 points, 8 boards to go along with it. And it is all Oklahoma. Garrett off the feed from Dotson. Couldn't finish. Garrett collects it. Rhymes lost it for a second, and now Dotson. And he gets fouled. Games in 32 seasons, announced his retirement yesterday. An amazing career. His first year was the 87-88 campaign, where Oklahoma lost in the national championship to Kansas.
Danny and the Miracle.
That's right.
Alex is also an outstanding golfer. Last I checked, I think 7 holes in 1.
Really?
Yeah, and he's got the license plate. Changes it every time he has a hole in 1. He'll play a lot more golf now that he doesn't have to worry about taking care of these Sooner athletes.
Yeah, you're not kidding. Doolittle looking for some space. Lightfoot is on him. And they get a foul inside Kansas.
We might be making a little history here tonight, John.
Indeed.
And if it does end, it's been an amazing run.
Fadeaway jumper a little strong. And a again, Kansas, that is the longest streak in college hoop history. 14 straight regular season titles.
Now this guy, how about Christian Doolittle? He's been unguardable tonight, and the versatility is impressive. Driving, scoring inside, scoring on the perimeter.
Lawson off the window and good.
Similar games, really. Lawson a little bit bigger, but very similar type of offensive games. Multi-dimensional.
A franchise, if I could put my analyst hat on.
Yep.
If Kansas is going to get back in this game, 3 for 19 from 3, that number is going to need to change.
It's going to have to go up, no question.
Odoms knocks down a 3, and all of a sudden the lead has ballooned to 22.
That's only Odom's 5th 3 of the season. You know, people talk about this incredible run as if the Big 12 hasn't been good during this amazing 14-year streak of championships, but this is a league that's produced national players of the year. Buddy Hield and
Frank Mason.
Yep. Well, I'm thinking about other teams, you know. I mean, Kansas has had to do it against guys like Kevin Durant and Blake Griffin. There's been a lot of teams going to the Sweet 16, and it hasn't been chopped liver. This league has been the top league in the country in 4 of the last 5 seasons.
Yeah. It's been a league that's, I mean, the depth. I mean, look at it. It's funny. This year, I think we both think the league is down in terms of elite level.
Right. Sexiness, too.
That's right. But we're still talking about 6, 7, or 8 getting in.
Yeah. Well, this league, it's lost 3 of its best big men, arguably. That guy right there.
And that was crucial. They were 9-0 when Azubuike went down.
Absolutely. Tristan Clark from Baylor. Sagaba Kanate. Of course, Kansas has not had Silvio De Sosa all year.
13:53 to go. Doolittle will grab a seat. Dotson handles. Esteban Dotson in practice today if he had ever been timed in the 40. He said he had not. I said we need to get you to the NFL Combine.
Yeah.
3 for Dotson. Out of bounds. Kansas basketball.
Well, he's a young man. I didn't notice until this season. We had him at the Under Armour All-American camp.
Played all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, and he grew up in Chicago. Didn't move to Charlotte till 6th grade. In fact, his youth league teammate in 4th and 5th grade, Taylor Horton Tucker, 2 guys that are in the running for Freshman of the Year. Both have had great seasons.
But a 4-star, or I should say a 4-sport kid. Good to still see that. Here's Odoms now into the paint and gets fouled.
Well, you got to know he's going left because that's what he does.
That's his first personal.
That's just scouting report defense right there.
The shot over to the line for Oklahoma. He'll shoot a pair.
This kid's a really good young man. His mom served in the military. She was over in the Middle East, and he and his brother spent time in Baltimore with relatives while she served our country. And I know she's very proud of Richard. Again, a grit and hustle guy.
Feeds to his brother, kick out Garrett.
And that's good defense because they're not going to let Lawson get an open look. They'd rather Garrett shoot that 3 ball. And that has not been going down tonight for Kansas.
Manick. Rebound KJ Lawson. Dotson to Dedrick Lawson. Got it.
He's only added that 3-point shot in the second half of the year. And that's part of what we talked about, that metamorphosis. They went from playing big with Lawson and Azubuike to 4 guards, and that's why I feel self-comfortable with Lawson now playing out on the perimeter.
Out on the court with his brother, KJ. Diedrich's the sophomore, Diedrich's the junior, KJ is the sophomore, but KJ's older.
Yeah. Diedrich averaged about 19 and 11 at Memphis before he transferred. Both brothers transferred here. Younger brother Chandler will head to Oregon next year, and then the 4th one, there's another one coming up who's an outstanding player.
Well, he's leading the Big 12 in points and rebounds. Been a little while since anyone did that. Last guy, yeah, here in Norman, Blake Griffin, 08, 09.
Yep. Of course, right outside this Lloyd Noble Center is the beautiful Blake Griffin Performance Center. State-of-the-art weight training, donated by the Griffin family.
Lawson knocks it down.
You know, I had him last week, John, as the player of the year in the league, but you know, obviously everything's changeable, and I've amended it. I think.
You made an amendment?
Yeah, I made an amendment because who cares, right? I mean, I don't have a real vote, but I think Barry Brown, if Kansas State wins it outright, is the player of the year. And I think Jarrett Culver will be the player of the year for me if Texas Tech wins it.
I'm going to yell at you when we come back to the commercial. Some tick, what makes him cry? Sports Center at 11. John Anderson, Mike Leeds on ESPN.
How's training camp?
Yeah, I can see a little out in Arizona.
Good.
Got to get to Florida. Reynolds high off the window. Nice ball movement.
Nice touch pass by Christian Doolittle, and the grad transfer. Look at this.
Reynolds.
Oh, how about Miles Reynolds? Little
all
cameo.
over the place, yeah.
Cameo, young man from Chicago. Watch this touch pass. And then the finish by Miles Reynolds. Young man who's a double transfer. He played in high school basketball at Whitney Young with Jaleel Okafor. And started his career at St. Louis, finished at Pacific last year, grad transfer. Really quality young man.
Yeah, they get the 2 grad transfers. He and Aaron Calixte played at Maine for Bob Walsh.
Yeah. And Miles Reynolds played on a really good high school team. Young man at Oregon, Paul White, also a team.
That's right.
I did one of those ESPN games.
KJ Lawson spinning, right hand. Diedrich the rebound, jump hook, short. And a foul on a Lawson.
Now, we may be watching something historic, John, and I know I brought it up a couple times, but we've said this for a long time. The road to the Big 12 title goes through Lawrence.
Yeah, no doubt. Can I ask you an unfair question?
Yeah, absolutely.
I also need to pick you apart on what we were arguing about as we went to break. The unfair question is, if Azubuike doesn't get hurt, do you think Kansas wins the Big 12?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Absolutely. You know, listen, they were #1 in the country. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And as good as Lawson is playing, which is at a, you know, near, I mean, he's an All-American, whether it's first or second team. I got that. Good catch.
Yeah.
We'll give you credit, John. No.
There's a lot of deflections there.
No, you look pretty good there. But no, seriously, if he and Lawson are anchoring the low post, how many losses do they have?
They have 7.
They'd have 3,
Okay.
4. Yeah.
All right.
No question. But hey, listen, a lot of teams in this league have had injuries through the years. Because last year at Texas Tech, I felt in mid-February was the best team, and then Keenan Evans gets hurt,
Yep.
Justin Gray gets hurt, and Zach Smith was hurt the whole year. So it happens. It's part of dealing with adversity.
Player of the year. Stop giving guys rewards for having good teammates.
No.
An individual award
No,
is an
I
individual
disagree.
award.
No, John, the most important player on a good team. Doesn't have to be the best team. No. I think right now it's either Jared.
It's an individual award. They get trophies for winning the league and rings for winning the league.
No, I disagree. I think Barry Brown, if this holds, I think either Barry Brown or Jarrett Culver is the player of the year. Hey, all three of those guys are the three best players in the league.
Right.
Throw Mariel Shayok in there as well. And I'll tell you another thing. I don't know who to give the Coach of the Year award to, because I thought it would be Scott Drew.
He did a great job.
An amazing job, but you know what? Chris Beard's team was picked 7th in the preseason, and Bruce Weber's. Bruce didn't ask me, but I think Bruce Weber deserves votes.
Yeah.
You know what? It really doesn't matter. Because
matters to me.
Well, no, it doesn't. It doesn't even matter to you.
I know.
Because we're going to keep playing.
That's correct.
This league is going to put 6 or 7 in the tournament. Kansas City is going to be wild.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
I mean,
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Shot clock under 10. Dotson. Good hands, Freeman. They knocked it away. Bieniemy. And Lawson the rebound. And again, the leader in points per game and rebounds per game in the conference. Dedrick Lawson fouled that time by Miles Reynolds.
This is unusual. I was at the game in Lubbock where the Red Raiders punched Kansas in the mouth.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say this is a punch in the mouth, but I would say this is death by 1,000 cuts tonight.
Yeah.
And this does not happen often. I think most of these guys will be back for Kansas. The guards, certainly. All 3 guards will be back. Don't worry about the mock drafts. These 3 guys are coming back. I don't know if Lawson will come back. He's an older junior. But most of this team will come back and be better for it, particularly in the backcourt.
Lawson on Manic. Lawson from deep. Under 9 to go, and with a loss here tonight, as we've documented, the amazing run of the Kansas Jayhawks, 14 straight regular season titles, will come to an end.
I would think the Big 12 tournament will mean a little more to Kansas this year than in past years. You know, there have been years where Bill Self is...
Could you imagine if that's the way it worked out? Could you imagine Bill Self's team lose tonight, the regular season title run comes to an end, and then they win the Big 12 tournament?
I wouldn't be shocked. And,
no.
You know, there's been years where he makes it not a big deal, but he's a competitor.
Manic inside, rejected out of bounds. 3 on the shot clock. Brady Manic with a season-high 19 here tonight.
Well, this is what the doctor ordered for Oklahoma. This would only be win number 7 in the league. They have a very strong resume out of conference, particularly. They scheduled smartly, John. The athletic director, Joe Castiglione, is the former chairman of the basketball committee. Take a look. Now, you go, what are quadrants, okay? A quad 1 win is a win at home versus a top 30, neutral site versus top 50, and away win over a top 75. Now, quadrant 4 is important because they did not play a team with a net rating of below 160.
Wow.
The only team in college basketball to not have done that by design. They've beaten Vanderbilt, they've beaten Northwestern, they've beat Notre Dame in the Garden. Now, none of those teams are having great years, but the fact is...
Well, they're no freebies.
No.
Or not the types of freebies that most teams schedule at least a little bit.
Right.
And it bears out in terms of their strength of schedule. And you're emphasizing Joe Castiglione's insight
into scheduling.
Yeah.
Kansas has played the best schedule in the country, and Oklahoma's played the 10th best.
The enemy up ahead. Feed attempt from Manick, off his hands, out of bounds. Kansas basketball. It's a 24-point Sooner advantage. McCormick back in, 8:04 to go. And Dedrick Lawson will grab a seat.
Oklahoma's mixed up their defenses tonight. They're really comfortable in that 3-2 zone. You don't see that a lot in college basketball.
Garrett turns it over. That face says it all. Oklahoma a win here tonight for Lon Kruger's group, and they are in the NCAA tournament. And of course, a loss for Kansas means they are eliminated from the regular season title. And that would be the first time after 14 straight regular season titles. A piece or all in a row.
And who was the last team to win a Big 12 title that was not named Kansas?
Well, I got a cheat sheet, so
yeah, no,
I know.
You know, so say it.
Oklahoma State.
Right. Now here's let me put it in perspective. Tony Allen and John Lucas III had great NBA careers.
Yeah.
They played a long time in the NBA.
Yeah.
Both of those guys are retired. They were on that team in 2004. Okay?
Yeah.
I mean, you know how long Tony Allen played? It seemed like forever, right?
That's true.
John Lucas, assistant coach up at the Minnesota Timberwolves. I remember those guys. Ivan McFarland, the Graham boys. That was Bill Self's first year after taking over for Roy Williams. And I remember when he was hired at Kansas, the consternation among Kansas fans are, what are we going to do without Roy? Why did he leave us? And Bill Self's worked out pretty well.
I'd say. Manick off the mark, out of bounds. Is Kansas basketball. Bill Self, the Hall of Famer. Went to the Final Four last year. And again, 03-04 season, the Cowboys from Stillwater.
Great Eddie Sutton.
To win it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we should know soon whether Eddie Sutton will be in the Hall of Fame and be honored at the Final Four, and that would be well deserved. Over 800 wins, and don't tell me about the NCAA probation. I can think of 4 or 5 guys that would be taken out of the Hall of Fame because their involvement with NCAA infractions. So that's a crock. Eddie Sutton should be in the Hall of Fame. Bob Huggins will go in soon. He'll go in. There'll be other guys going in, but Eddie Sutton is a Hall of Famer.
You like the idea of guys going in while they're still active?
I don't. I really think we should wait. You know, Bill Self made a great. I told him that once. Bill Self last year. He said, you're right. He said, the only good thing about going in now is my dad could see it.
Yeah,
you know,
I get it.
And his dad is, you know,
Sure.
Great high school coach here in the state of Oklahoma. But by and large, I think a coach should end his career before we put him in the Hall of Fame.
Doolittle has had himself quite a night. He's got 23.
We mentioned earlier, Edmond Memorial High School won a state title as a freshman with Dwayne Woodard, who played here. And back in the day, Bill Self, an outstanding player there before his Oklahoma State career.
Grimes gets into the paint, and the foul is on Bieniemy. Hey, more college basketball coming your way. A little Sonic blockbuster doubleheader. It's all lined up for you. Coming up, Duke and North Carolina. It's Saturday at 6 Eastern, the rematch. And then at 8 Eastern, it's Michigan and Michigan State. Coming up this weekend, both games on ESPN, also streaming live on the ESPN app.
And I think Michigan still, you know, I still think they have a chance at a 1 seed. Virginia was great the other night, weren't they?
Yeah.
That's Syracuse knocking down all those threes. It's not easy to shoot threes against Syracuse.
What's your expectation in terms of Zion and what will end up happening there?
I think he'll be back, John. And I don't think it matters if he's back until the... Oh, he traveled. I don't think it matters if he's back at the ACC tournament and doesn't play Saturday. That guy, you can see why Duke has struggled. That kid not only should be the National Player of the Year, but he's not going to get it. I think he should be the National Defensive Player of the Year and the Freshman of the Year.
15 turnovers on Kansas here. The enemy gets inside and gets the floater.
Does he play in slow motion or what?
Yeah, no doubt. And it's, you know, it's interesting. One of the things that's so fun about this job is to watch the progression of a season, and seeing him in the Bahamas. He looked like a nice player, but I don't know that I thought that he was going to have this impact and start these. I mean, a starter.
Yeah.
He is a starter, and I mean, and the ball is in his hands.
And the thing about this league is, outside of Kansas and occasionally Texas, this league does not get one-and-done guys.
Right.
So when you see a Frank Mason as a freshman, or the enemy, or I can remember Buddy Hield just plain as day, you know, as a freshman, this guy shooting the ball is going to be a great player.
No doubt.
You just watch guys who are going to stick around for 3 and 4 years. Not all of them, you know. Embiid comes and goes. Trae Young, I think people are smelling it now.
No doubt. They try for the lob. McCormick gets in the way. Now 4 minutes to go, and it's Oklahoma by 24. Garrett rattles it home.
Be interesting Saturday with Baylor coming to town. Kansas, as of right now, no seniors, at least on the court. Gerald Vick, leave of absence, no timetable for his return.
Randy is. It looks like Kansas is going to go down, so it'll either be K-State or Texas Tech, or maybe they share the title. But from your seat right now, who do you make the favorite to win the Big 12 tournament?
Texas Tech. I mean, they're going to be playing on the road. Texas Tech's the best team in the league right now. Kansas State has an argument as well. Now Texas Tech has a chance, more of a chance to lose on Saturday.
Right.
Iowa State. Yeah, Iowa State's at West Virginia tomorrow. It's a Wednesday. They'll get back. And K-State will play this Oklahoma team. And how ironic would it be if this team knocks off K-State and maybe opens the door for one champion, maybe Texas Tech.
James short. McCormick rips down the rebound. Well, again, we talked about the importance of this game. 2 ways, and for Kansas, certainly about history and their goals for this year, but for Oklahoma, this win certainly looks like their 7th league win is what it would be, and it looks like it would cement their status in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, now 7 and 11, people will scratch their head, but we've already explained the quad system, the net rankings, and the fact that Oklahoma has played as one of the most challenging schedules in the country. You know what's great about the seniors? They played tonight like they didn't want to play in the NIT and play a home game here.
Yep. Yeah, no doubt. McCormick and one. 1:55 to go. It's a 20-point game. Back here in Norman, and great work by Oklahoma here tonight. The Oklahoma staff has done great work, and the last couple of years they've sustained some losses, and those guys have moved on to Dublin.
Yeah, Steve Henson and Lou Hill, 2 guys that left the staff, both doing well. Steve at Texas San Antonio, and Lou Hill at Texas Rio Grande Valley. You see Kevin Kruger right there.
Yeah.
Interesting guy. He was the first grad transfer in the NCAA. He was playing at Arizona State.
He figured out the loophole.
He did, and he was playing for Rob Evans. They made a coaching change. He had a 5th year because he redshirted. And he played for his dad, and there you go. That's cool. That is cool.
Christian Games, presumably his last game here at Lloyd Noble, and getting some love.
And you see Reynolds.
This one really has been, I mean, Oklahoma
I'm shocked,
start to finish.
I'm shocked.
Getting the love from Chris Crutchfield and Carlin Hartman.
Yep, 2 guys are going to make excellent head coaches. Lon Kruger, if you're hiring a guy, you could do worse than hire a Lon Kruger assistant coach. Great image, great with people, and great with players. I can attest to that.
By the way, the last time Oklahoma beat Kansas by double digits, 1990 in the Big 8 tournament. Calixte off the mark.
Billy Tubbs.
That's right.
That's some great teams.
Cola hugs another senior, Jimani McNeese.
He's been here the longest because he redshirted. 5 years. Again, they needed this one, as did Kansas. Outstanding performance tonight by the Sooners.
Doolittle comes out 24 for the junior Christian Doolittle. Moore knocks down that three. But here tonight, the reign of the Kansas Jayhawks comes to an end. 14th straight regular season Big 12 titles, and that streak is over. For Oklahoma, the Sooners, a win they really needed for their NCAA resume, and it would appear very likely that they are now headed for the big dance.
Yeah, pretty much 19 quality wins, John. Most in that quad 1 and quad 2 we talked about.
Tian knocking that one down. But all Sooners here still to come. Nevada and Rice. Nevada can secure a piece of their conference title with a win.
Yeah, yep. They've got a quality team going into the NCAA tournament. By the way, they have no Quadrant 1 games this year, in case you're wondering.
Out of bounds turnover, and Kansas basketball. And as I mentioned, the last time they beat Kansas by double digits, the Big 8 tournament, 1990. Slam by McCormick. But the story here tonight, one of the most remarkable runs in college sports, is over. The Kansas Jayhawks have been eliminated from the Big 12 regular season title. After 14 in a row, it is done. Kansas will not have a piece of the Big 12 conference title.